Hey guys, so what we're going to do today is we're going to solve quadratic equations. So just make sure that you have the packet that says solving quadratics ready, a pencil and a calculator. Now each day we're going to take it up a notch. I'm going to start off easy and then it's going to get not challenging, just add a little couple more steps on each day. Okay? So first let's just review what is a quadratic. A quadratic is any expression in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And second, what is a quadratic equation? It's any equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Important information. So solving a quadratic is different than solving a linear equation. When you're solving a quadratic, we're actually solving for two values of x 95% of the time. Where in a linear equation, we're always solving for one value of x, obviously, except for those special exceptions, the zero, when you have no values or you have infinite. But generally speaking, we're solving for one. Now, also know that when solving a quadratic, it has to be set equal to 0, but when solving a linear function, we need to get x by itself. So the steps are very different. So let's just review quickly what it means to solve a linear equation. Like, for example, 5x minus 3x plus 23. Remember, we ask ourselves what's happening to x. It's being multiplied by -3, added by 5. So we reverse the order in operation where we subtract 5 on both sides and we bring down the -3x and answer that. You get 18, and then we would divide by -3 on both sides and we get x equals -6. And then when we check our answer, we store -6 in for x, and then we type in the left-hand side and we get that 23 equals 23 to check our answer. Now today it's going to be a little different when we are solving the quadratic, but the store is going to be the same. All right, let's just also review quickly what it means to solve a simple quadratic from the beginning of the year or even in seventh grade. At the end of the Pythagorean theorem, if it said solve for x and we have x squared equals 9, most of you remember we square root both sides. When we square root x squared, we get x. When we square root 9 on our calculator, we get 3. But there's one little thing we have to remember when we're solving an equation. There are two possible answers for it could be a +3 or a -3. But generally, because we're solving a quadratic for this Pythagorean theorem, we always take the positive answer. So now we know that there are two answers for x, +3 and -3. And today we're going to show you how to get those via factoring. Okay, so let's try the first one. So here are the steps for factoring. We have x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. You always want to make sure your equation is set equal to 0, which today they all are going to be set equal to 0. Tomorrow they won't. Then we factor. Then we tee off our factors. We set each factor equal to 0. We solve each equation for x. We check each answer in the calculator using store. I will not do that on the video today. I'll make a separate video for those of you that are confused on how to check. You could watch that. That will be posted on the classroom. And then we put our answers in solution set brackets. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to start factoring. So in order to factor, we know this is a trinomial, so we put our coefficient, we multiply the 1 and the 12, and we get +12. I'm just going to skip all the factors because I know they have to add to -7. So I'm just going to write down my negative factors for this because I want to save time here so we don't have to worry about sitting through a 20-minute video. All right, so which two factors add to -7? -3, -4. So I'm going to break it up to -3x, -4x. You bring down your +12. You bring down your x squared. And what you have to remember is to carry down that equals 0. Now we group it, factor out x from each term, factor out -4 from each term. We're left with x times x minus 3. We have -4 times x minus 3 equals 0. Now we take out our common factor of x minus 3, and our leftover factor is x minus 4 equals 0. And that's the first two steps. Now we're on to the step 3, tee off the factors. What I mean is tee it off like that. And then we set step 4, set each of the factors equal to 0. Okay? Now we solved each one-step equation here. You could do this in your head. It's fine because we would just assume that you know that 3 minus 3 equals 0. Or you could do the one-step equation if it makes you feel happy, and we get x equals 4. So it's just a simple one-step equation from when you were in 6th grade, and those are your two answers. Now, when you do the check, you can watch the other video. You're going to store each value in separately for x, type in this equation, and then see if each of the answers gives you 0. You do it 2 separate times. And the last step is put your answers in solution set brackets. You're just going to use these brackets. It tells us that those are the two values for x when the solution is equal to 0. Okay? So pause this video, make sure you're getting all these steps down so you can now perform the next 3 on your own. So I'm going to ask you to try the next on your own. The only second step is going to be the last couple of steps added on to the factoring. If you get any of them wrong, checking your answer with the answer key, you can watch the other guided examples that I'm going to lead them through on the second video. Once you're done, I want you to complete the Google form that's attached to the Google Classroom. It'll just be the classwork problems from today, but just in a digital form. Okay, good luck, and message me if you have any questions.